Do you want to successfully complete the C952 objective assessment exam? Then you are in the right place. Our website provides a list of questions and answers for your success in the C952 OA exam for free. We understand that acing your OA exam can be quite challenging. That's why we provide completely free exam guides and practice questions for you. In this video, we will cover questions from computer architecture, memory hierarchy, data processing, networking, and programming concepts. So, let's get started. 1. Which component is responsible for executing instructions and performing calculations in a computer system? A. Memory. B. CPU. C. Operating system. D. Input and output devices. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. CPU. Explanation: option B is correct because the CPU, or central processing unit, is the primary component of a computer that processes instructions. It executes arithmetic, logic, controlling, and input-output operations specified by the instructions in a program. Option A is incorrect because memory, like RAM, is used to store data and instructions that the CPU needs to access, but it does not perform the execution or calculations itself. Option C is incorrect because the operating system is software that manages the computer's hardware and software resources. It directs the CPU to perform tasks, but does not execute them directly. Option D is incorrect because input, output. Devices like keyboards and monitors are used for communication between a user and the computer, not for core processing. 2. What term describes a collection of servers that dynamically provide online services, often rented as a utility? A. Embedded computing. B. Multi-core processing. C. Cloud computing. D. Local area network. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Cloud computing. Explanation: option C is correct because cloud computing is a model where scalable and elastic pools of shareable computing resources, such as servers, storage, and applications, are provided over the internet on a rental basis. Option A is incorrect because embedded computing refers to specialized computer systems that are part of a larger mechanical or electrical system, like those found in cars or home appliances. Option B is incorrect because multi-core processing refers to a single CPU that contains two or more independent processing units, called cores, designed to improve performance through parallel execution. Option D is incorrect because a local area network, or LAN, is a network that connects computers and devices within a limited geographical area, such as a home or office. 3. In data hierarchy, what does a terabyte typically represent in modern storage devices? A. 1024 gigabytes. B. 1 trillion bytes. C. 2 to the power of 40 bytes. D. 500 megabytes. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. 1 trillion bytes. Explanation: option B is correct because in the context of storage hardware manufacturing and marketing, a terabyte or TB is defined using the decimal system as exactly 1 trillion bytes. Option A is incorrect because 1024 gigabytes is the definition of a terabyte, or TOB, which is based on powers of 2 and is often used by operating systems to report storage capacity. Option C is incorrect because 2 to the power of 40 bytes is the value of a terabyte, which is distinct from the decimal-based terabyte used by storage manufacturers. Option D is incorrect because 500 megabytes is a much smaller unit of data, equal to only half of 1 gigabyte. 4. What term describes a memory that can be accessed randomly and is often built as an integrated circuit? A. Cache memory. B. Flash memory. C. Dynamic random access memory. D. Secondary memory. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Dynamic random access memory. Explanation: option C is correct because dynamic random access memory, or DRAM, is the most common form of random access memory for personal computers and workstations. It is a type of volatile memory that stores each bit of data in a separate capacitor within an integrated circuit. Option A is incorrect because while cache memory is also random access and an IC, it is a specialized, faster type of memory. DRAM is the more general and common technology used for a computer's main memory. Option B is incorrect because flash memory is non-volatile and has different performance characteristics, particularly slower random write speeds, making it unsuitable for use as main system memory. Option D is incorrect because secondary memory is a broad category for long-term storage, like hard disk drives or solid-state drives, which have significantly slower access times than DRAM. 5. In virtual memory, which event occurs when a program tries to access data that is not currently in main memory? A. Cache hit. B. Page fault. C. Interrupt. D. Cache miss. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Page fault. Explanation: option B is correct because a page fault is a specific type of exception that occurs when the memory management unit detects that a requested virtual memory page is not mapped to a physical memory frame, requiring it to be loaded from secondary storage. Option A is incorrect because a cache hit is the opposite event. It occurs when requested data is successfully found in the cache. Option C is incorrect because while a page fault is a type of trap or interrupt, page fault is the precise term for the event of accessing a non-resident memory page. Interrupt is a more general term. Option D is incorrect because a cache miss happens when data is not found in the cache, which typically results in fetching it from main memory. A page fault occurs when data is not in main memory itself. 6. Which technique is used to mitigate control hazards by predicting the outcome of branches at runtime? A. Pipelining. B. Cache coherence. C. Branch prediction. D. Memory mapping. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Branch prediction. Explanation: option C is correct because branch prediction is a technique where the processor guesses the direction of a branch instruction to keep the instruction pipeline full, avoiding a stall while the actual outcome is calculated. Option A is incorrect because pipelining is the general technique of overlapping instruction execution stages. It is the source of control hazards, not the solution for them. Option B is incorrect because cache coherence is a protocol for maintaining consistency of data across multiple caches in a multiprocessor system. Option D is incorrect because memory mapping is a mechanism that maps a file or device into a process's address space and is unrelated to handling pipeline hazards. 7. What is the function of a compiler in computer systems? A. To provide a logical interface for memory. B. To store data permanently. C. To convert high-level code to machine code. D. To manage physical addresses in memory. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. To convert high-level code to machine code. Explanation: option C is correct because a compiler is a program that translates source code written in a high-level programming language, like C++ or Java, into a lower-level language such as machine code that the CPU can directly execute. Option A is incorrect because the logical interface for memory is provided by the operating system and the memory management unit hardware. Option B is incorrect because permanent data storage is the function of non-volatile storage devices like hard drives and solid-state drives. Option D is incorrect because the management of physical memory addresses is a core task of the operating system's memory manager. 8. Which logical operation will return a 0 when both input bits are the same? A, AND, B, or C, XOR D, not. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C, XOR. Explanation: option C is correct because the exclusive OR XOR operation results in a 1 only if the two input bits are different. It returns 0 if the inputs are the same. For example, 0 XOR 0 equals 0 and 1 XOR 1 equals 0. Option A is incorrect because the AND operation returns 1 only when both inputs are 1. It returns 0 otherwise. Option B is incorrect because the OR operation returns 0 only when both inputs are 0. It returns 1 if at least one input is 1. Option D is incorrect because the NOT operation is a unary operator that takes a single input and inverts it. It does not compare two bits. 9. Which component in a CPU is responsible for handling logical operations and arithmetic calculations? A. Control unit. B. Data path. C. ALU. D. Cache memory. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. ALU. Explanation: option C is correct because the arithmetic logic unit, or ALU, is the digital circuit within the processor that performs integer arithmetic and bitwise logic operations. Option A is incorrect because the control unit directs the operation of the processor, telling the computer's memory, ALU, and input and output devices how to respond to a program's instructions. Option B is incorrect because the data path is a broader collection of functional units, including the ALU, registers and buses, that perform data processing operations. The ALU is the specific part that does the calculations. Option D is incorrect because cache memory is a small fast memory component used to store frequently accessed data, but it does not perform any operations on that data. 10. Which type of memory is built as an integrated circuit and retains data only when powered? A. DRAM. B. SRAM. C. Non-volatile memory. D. Flash memory. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, A. DRAM. Explanation: option A is correct because dynamic random access memory, or DRAM, is a type of volatile memory built as an integrated circuit that requires its stored information to be periodically refreshed and needs continuous power to retain data. Option B is incorrect because while static random access memory, or SRAM, is also a volatile memory IC, DRAM is far more common for main system memory due to its higher density and lower cost. Option C is incorrect because non-volatile memory is a category of memory that retains its stored information even after power is removed. Option D is incorrect because flash memory is a specific type of non-volatile memory and therefore does not fit the description. 11. Which addressing mode in assembly programming allows a target address to be calculated relative to the program counter? A. Absolute addressing. B. Direct addressing. C. PC relative addressing. D. Indirect addressing. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. PC relative addressing. Explanation: option C is correct because PC relative addressing calculates the target memory address by adding a signed offset value contained within the instruction to the current address in the program counter, or PC. Option A is incorrect because absolute addressing specifies the full memory address directly within the instruction itself. Option B is incorrect because direct addressing uses an address in the instruction to point directly to the location of the operand in memory. Option D is incorrect because indirect addressing uses a pointer in the instruction that refers to another memory location, which in turn holds the effective address of the operand A. 12. In floating point representation, what term describes a number that is too small in magnitude to be represented? A. Overflow. B. Underflow. C. Precision loss. D. Exponent cap. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Underflow. Explanation: option B is correct because underflow is a condition that occurs when the result of a calculation is a number of smaller magnitude than the computer can represent in its floating point format. This means the exponent is too small or too negative. Option A is incorrect because overflow occurs when the result of a calculation is a number of larger magnitude than the computer can represent, meaning the exponent is too large. Option C is incorrect because precision loss refers to the inaccuracy that arises when a number cannot be perfectly represented due to the finite number of bits in the significand, or mantissa. Option D is incorrect because exponent cap is not a standard term used to describe this condition in floating point arithmetic. 13. In the Java programming language, which keyword provides access for methods within the same package or to subclasses in other packages? A. Private. B. Public. C. Static. D. Protected. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, D. Protected. Explanation: option D is correct because the protected access modifier in Java makes a class member visible within its own package, and also available to subclasses that inherit from it, even if those subclasses are in different packages. Option A is incorrect because the private keyword restricts access to members to only within the same class where they are declared. Option B is incorrect because the public keyword makes members accessible from any other class, regardless of the package. Option C is incorrect because the static keyword indicates that a method or variable belongs to the class itself rather than an instance of the class, and it is not an access modifier. 14. Which term refers to the minimum unit of information that is transferred between a cache and main memory? A. Block. B. Sector. C. Page. D. Word. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, A. Block. Explanation: option A is correct because a block, also known as a cache line, is the smallest unit of data that can be copied between the main memory and the cache. Option B is incorrect because a sector is the minimum unit of storage on a magnetic or optical disk. Option C is incorrect because a page is the fixed size block of virtual memory that is transferred between main memory and secondary storage, such as a disk. Option D is incorrect because a word is the natural unit of data used by a processor. A cache block is almost always composed of multiple words. 15. What technique allows multiple instructions to be processed simultaneously in an assembly line fashion in a CPU? A. Register renaming. B. Pipelining. C. Direct memory access. D. Control hazard. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Pipelining. Explanation: option B is correct because pipelining is a technique where multiple instructions are overlapped in execution. The processor is broken into stages, and each stage can work on a different instruction at the same time, much like an assembly line. Option A is incorrect because register renaming is a specific technique used to resolve data hazards in a pipeline processor, but it is not the assembly line concept itself. Option C is incorrect because direct memory access, or DMA, is a feature that allows input and output devices to transfer data to or from main memory without involving the CPU. Option D is incorrect because a control hazard is a problem that can occur in a pipeline processor when the outcome of a branch is not yet known. It is a problem, not the technique itself. 16. Which input and output technique involves the CPU periodically checking a device's status to see if it is ready for an operation? A. Polling. B. Interrupt-driven input and output. C. Direct memory access. D. Register file. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, A. Polling. Explanation: option A is correct because polling is a method where the CPU continuously or periodically checks the status of a device to see if it has data to transfer or is ready for the next operation. This is also known as a busy wait. Option B is incorrect because in interrupt-driven input and output, the device signals the CPU with an interrupt when it is ready, freeing the CPU from having to constantly check the device's status. Option C is incorrect because direct memory access, or DMA, is a technique where a special controller handles data transfers between input and output devices and memory, largely independent of the CPU. Option D is incorrect because a register file is a set of registers within the CPU used for data storage. It is not an input and output technique. 17. What is multithreading primarily designed to improve in a processor? A. Arithmetic speed. B. Program reliability. C. Processor utilization. D. Cache storage. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Processor utilization. Explanation: option C is correct because multithreading improves processor utilization by allowing another thread to execute if the current thread is stalled, for example while waiting for a memory access. This keeps the processor's execution units busy. Option A is incorrect because multithreading does not make individual arithmetic operations faster. It increases overall throughput by performing more work concurrently. Option B is incorrect because while careful multi-threaded programming can enhance system responsiveness, its primary goal at the hardware level is performance, and incorrect implementation can actually reduce reliability. Option D is incorrect because multi-threading does not increase cache storage. In fact, multiple threads can compete for limited cache resources, which can sometimes degrade performance. 18. What type of cache design allows a memory block to be placed in one of a few specific cache locations as a compromise between direct mapped and fully associative designs? A. Split cache. B. Set associative cache. C. Write-through cache. D. Fully associative cache. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Set associative cache. Explanation: option B is correct because a set associative cache divides the cache into sets, and a memory block can be mapped to any of the cache lines within a specific set. This reduces conflict, misses compared to a direct mapped cache, without the complexity of a fully associative cache. Option A is incorrect because a split cache refers to a design where there are separate caches for instructions and data to reduce contention between instruction fetches and data accesses. Option C is incorrect because a write-through cache is a type of write policy where data is written to both the cache and main memory at the same time. Option D is incorrect because a fully associative cache allows a memory block to be placed in any available cache line, which offers the most flexibility but is complex and costly to implement. 19. Which multiprocessor memory architecture allows for consistent memory access time from any processor to any memory location? A. Virtual memory. B. Dynamic RAM. C. Non-uniform memory access. D. Uniform memory access. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, D. Uniform memory access. Explanation: option D is correct because in a uniform memory access, or UMA architecture, all processors have equal access time to any part of the shared main memory. This design is also known as a symmetric multiprocessing system. Option A is incorrect because virtual memory is a memory management technique that gives a process the illusion of having its own private address space. Option B is incorrect because dynamic RAM, or DRAM, is a specific type of memory technology, not a system-level architecture for multiprocessor access. Option C is incorrect because non-uniform memory access, or NUMA, is an architecture where memory access time depends on the memory's location relative to a processor, meaning access is not uniform. 20. What purpose does a valid bit serve in a cache memory line? A. Tracks the most frequently accessed data. B. Indicates whether the data in a block is valid. C. Reduces cache miss rates. D. Controls the memory hierarchy. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Indicates whether the data in a block is valid. Explanation: option B is correct because the valid bit is a status bit associated with each cache line that indicates whether the line holds meaningful, up-to-date data from main memory. When the system starts, all valid bits are set to 0 or invalid. Option A is incorrect because tracking data frequency is the job of a cache replacement algorithm, like least recently used, or LRU, which requires different state information. Option C is incorrect because the valid bit is a fundamental mechanism for cache operation, but it does not in itself reduce miss rates. Cache size, associativity, and replacement policy are what affect miss rates. Option D is incorrect because the valid bit is a specific, low-level piece of state within a cache controller. It does not control the entire memory hierarchy. 21. What is the primary role of an arithmetic logic unit, or ALU, in a processor? A. Manages memory allocation. B. Executes conditional branches. C. Performs arithmetic and logic functions. D. Loads instructions into memory. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Performs arithmetic and logic functions. Explanation: option C is correct because the ALU is the core computational engine inside a CPU that performs arithmetic operations like addition and subtraction, as well as logical operations like AND, OR, and NOT. Option A is incorrect because memory allocation is managed by the operating system, not the ALU. Option B is incorrect because while the ALU may evaluate the condition for a branch, like comparing two numbers, the control unit is what acts on that result to change the program flow. Option D is incorrect because loading instructions from storage into memory is the job of the operating system's loader program. 22. Which storage method is typically used for long-term data retention and does not require constant power? A. DRAM, B. Cache memory, C. Flash memory, D. Volatile memory. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. Flash memory. Explanation: Option C is correct because flash memory is a type of non-volatile storage that retains data without a power source, making it ideal for devices like solid-state drives, USB drives and memory cards. Option A is incorrect because DRAM, or dynamic random access memory, is volatile and loses all its data when power is turned off. Option B is incorrect because cache memory, typically SRAM, is also volatile and is designed for temporary, high-speed storage, not long-term retention. Option D is incorrect because volatile memory is a category of memory that by definition requires power to maintain the stored information. 23. In the LGU architecture, which register is used to point to the top of the stack? A. Base pointer, B. Program counter, C. Frame pointer, D. Stack pointer. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, D. Stack pointer. Explanation: Option D is correct because the stack pointer, or SP, is a register that always holds the address of the last element placed on the stack, which is known as the top of the stack. It is adjusted as items are pushed or popped. Option A is incorrect because a base pointer is a register used to point to a fixed location within a stack frame to provide a stable reference for accessing local variables and parameters. Option B is incorrect because the program counter, or PC, holds the address of the next instruction to be fetched from memory. Option C is incorrect because the frame pointer, or FP, is another name for the base pointer and serves the same function of referencing the current stack frame. 24. What is the role of a loader in a computer system? A. Converts code to machine language. B. Loads an executable file into main memory. C. Directs input-output processes. D. Stores program data. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Loads an executable file into main memory. Explanation: Option B is correct because the loader is a part of the operating system responsible for taking an executable file from storage and placing its contents, including code and data, into main memory so it can be run. Option A is incorrect because converting source code into machine language is the job of a compiler or an assembler. Option C is incorrect because directing input and output processes is a function managed by the operating system's kernel and device drivers. Option D is incorrect because while the loader places program data into memory, it is the memory itself that performs the function of storing the data. 25. In binary logic, which operation inverts each bit in a binary value? A. XOR, B. OR, C. NOT, D. AND. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. NOT. Explanation: Option C is correct because the NOT operation is a unary operator that performs logical negation on each bit. It flips a 1 to a 0 and a 0 to a 1. Option A is incorrect because XOR, or exclusive OR, is a binary operator that compares two bits and outputs, 1 if they are different. Option B is incorrect because OR is a binary operator that compares 2 bits and outputs 1 if at least one of them is 1. Option D is incorrect because AND is a binary operator that compares 2 bits and outputs 1 only if both of them are 1. 26. Which component within a memory hierarchy temporarily stores data that is likely to be needed soon by the processor? A. Secondary memory. B. Local area network. C. Cache memory. D. Instruction set. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Cache memory. Explanation. Option C is correct because cache memory is a small high-speed memory placed between the CPU and main memory. It stores copies of frequently used data to reduce the average time to access data from the main memory. Option A is incorrect because secondary memory, such as a hard drive, is used for long-term storage and is much slower than main memory or cache. Option B is incorrect because a local area network, or a LAN, is a communication network and not a component of the computer's memory hierarchy. Option D is incorrect because an instruction set is the vocabulary of a commands that a processor understands. It is an abstract interface, not a physical storage component. 27. What function does the instruction set architecture, or ISA, serve in computer design? A. Provides networking standards. B. Manages memory hardware. C. Defines the commands a CPU can execute. D. Controls data storage. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Defines the commands a CPU can execute. Explanation. Option C is correct because the instruction set, architecture or ISA, serves as the interface between the computer's hardware and software. It specifies the set of instructions, registers, and memory addressing modes that a processor can understand and execute. Option A is incorrect because networking standards like TCP/IP or Ethernet are defined by standards bodies such as the IETF and IEEE. Option B is incorrect because memory hardware is managed by a dedicated memory controller and the operating system. Option D is incorrect because data storage is controlled by various system components, including storage controllers and the operating system, not the ISA. (28) Which term describes the ratio of floating point operations performed to the amount of data moved from memory? A. Throughput. B. Cache hit rate. C. Arithmetic intensity. D. Execution time. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Arithmetic intensity. Explanation. Option C is correct because arithmetic intensity is a measure of how many floating point calculations are performed for each byte of data accessed from memory. It helps characterize how computationally bound or memory-bound a program is. Option A is incorrect because throughput is a measure of the total work completed per unit of time, such as operations per second. Option B is incorrect because the cache hit rate is the percentage of memory accesses that are successfully served from the cache. Option D is incorrect because execution time is the total time a program takes to run from start to finish. 29. Which network topology allows every node to have a direct communication link to every other node? A. Fully connected network. B. Cluster. C. Crossbar network. D. Multi-stage network. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, A. Fully connected network. Explanation. Option A is correct because a fully connected network or mesh topology, is one in which there is a direct link between all pairs of nodes. This provides maximum reliability and performance, but is expensive to implement. Option B is incorrect because a cluster is a group of linked computers that work together as a single system. It describes the collection of machines, not their specific network topology. Option C is incorrect because a crossbar network uses a switch to connect multiple inputs to multiple outputs. While it can be used to build a fully connected system, it is an implementation detail rather than the topology itself. Option D is incorrect because a multi-stage network connects nodes through multiple stages of smaller switches, which is an alternative to a fully connected topology that uses fewer links. 30. In virtual memory systems, what structure stores the mappings from virtual to physical addresses? A. Instruction set. B. Page table. C. Frame pointer. D. Cache hierarchy. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Page table. Explanation: option B is correct because a page table is a data structure used by the virtual memory system to store the mapping between virtual addresses used by a program and the corresponding physical addresses in main memory. Option A is incorrect because an instruction set is the set of commands that a CPU can execute. Option C is incorrect because a frame pointer is a register used within a function to access its local variables and parameters on the stack. Option D is incorrect because the cache hierarchy refers to the multi-level system of caches used to speed up memory access, not the structure that stores address mappings. What is the purpose of a translation look-aside buffer, or TLB? A. Manages program execution flow. B. Provides quick access to page table entries. C. Controls cache write-back operations. D. Stores main memory contents. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Provides quick access to page table entries. Explanation: option B is correct because a translation look-aside buffer, or TLB, is a special memory cache that stores recent translations of virtual memory to physical addresses. This avoids the need to access the full page table for every memory reference, speeding up address translation. Option A is incorrect because program execution flow is managed by the processor's control unit and program counter. Option C is incorrect because cache write-back operations are managed by the cache controller according to its defined write policy. Option D is incorrect because the TLB stores address mappings, not the actual data content from main memory. What technique uses the same address bus for both memory and input and output devices, allowing the CPU to access devices using standard memory instructions? A. Virtual memory. B. Direct memory access. C. Cache memory. D. Memory mapped input and output. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, D. Memory mapped input and output. Explanation: option D is correct because memory mapped input and output is a technique where input and output device control registers are mapped into the same address space as main memory. This allows the CPU to communicate with devices using the same load and store instructions it uses for memory. Option A is incorrect because virtual memory is a memory management technique that provides an isolated address space for each program. Option B is incorrect because direct memory access, or DMA, is a method that allows devices to transfer data directly with memory, bypassing the CPU. Option C is incorrect because cache memory is a high-speed buffer for main memory and is not an input and output technique. 33. What process involves retrieving data into a cache before it is explicitly requested? A. Write back. B. Branch prediction. C. Prefetching. D. Load balancing. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Prefetching. Explanation. Option C is correct because prefetching is a performance-enhancing technique where data is fetched from a slower memory into a faster cache in anticipation that it will be needed soon. This is typically based on detecting access patterns. Option A is incorrect because write-back is a cache-write policy where data modifications are only written to the cache and are propagated to main memory later. Option B is incorrect because branch prediction is a technique for guessing the outcome of a conditional branch instruction to keep the CPU pipeline from stalling. Option D is incorrect because load balancing is the practice of distributing computational workloads across multiple resources like servers or CPU cores. 34. In a processor with dynamic scheduling, what does a reservation station hold? A. Cache instructions. B. Operands and the operation to be performed. C. Virtual address mappings. D. Instruction cycle logs. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Operands and the operation to be performed. Explanation. Option B is correct because a reservation station is a buffer in the CPU that holds an instructions operation and the values of its operands as they become available. Once all operands are ready, the instruction can be dispatched to a functional unit for execution. Option A is incorrect because cache is a memory component that holds instructions and data fetched from main memory, which is distinct from a reservation station's role in out-of-order execution. Option C is incorrect because virtual address mappings are stored in the page table and cached in the translation look-aside buffer, or TLB. Option D is incorrect because instruction cycle logs is not a standard term. A reorder buffer tracks instruction status to ensure in-order completion, but reservation stations hold pending operations. 35. What does a program counter or PC typically store? A. Cache data. B. The address of the next instruction to be executed. C. Virtual address mappings. D. User data. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. The address of the next instruction to be executed. Explanation. Option B is correct because the program counter is a special register in the CPU that holds the memory address of the next instruction that will be fetched and executed. After an instruction is fetched, the PC is updated to point to the following one. Option A is incorrect because cache data is stored in the cache memory, not in the program counter. Option C is incorrect because virtual address mappings are managed by the page table and the translation look-aside buffer, or TLB. Option D is incorrect because user data is held in general-purpose registers and main memory. (36) Which cache mapping technique helps reduce address conflicts by allowing a memory block to be placed in a small number of specific cached locations? A. Cache coherence controller. B. Set associative mapping. C. Direct mapping scheme. D. Split cache memory. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Set associative mapping. Explanation. Option B is correct because set associative mapping is a compromise that allows a memory block to be placed in any of a few, or n, specific locations within a set. This flexibility significantly reduces the chance of conflict, misses compared to direct mapping. Option A is incorrect because a cache coherence controller is a component that ensures data consistency across multiple caches in a multiprocessor system, not a mapping technique. Option C is incorrect because a direct mapping scheme is highly prone to conflict misses, as each memory block can only be placed in one specific cache location. Option D is incorrect because a split cache separates instructions and data to reduce structural hazards, which is unrelated to the mapping of memory blocks to cache lines. 37. Which component acts as an interpreter for Java bytecode, enabling it to run on multiple platforms? A. Compiler, B. Linker, C. JVM, or Java Virtual Machine, D. Loader. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. JVM or Java Virtual Machine. Explanation. Option C is correct because the Java Virtual Machine, or JVM, is an abstract computing machine that enables a computer to run a Java program. It interprets compiled Java bytecode for a specific platform, which is how Java achieves its write once, run anywhere capability. Option A is incorrect because the Java compiler, javac, translates Java source code into platform-independent bytecode. It does not execute the code. Option B is incorrect because a linker is a tool that combines object files into a single executable, a process which is handled differently and more dynamically in the Java environment by the JVM. Option D is incorrect because while the JVM contains class loaders, the JVM itself is the complete environment that interprets and executes the bytecode. (38) What does Direct Memory Access, or DMA, enable in memory operations? A. High-speed CPU access, B. Direct data transfers between input and output, and memory without CPU involvement, C. High-performance cache handling, D. Interrupt-driven device management. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Direct data transfers between input and output, and memory without CPU involvement. Explanation. Option B is correct because Direct Memory Access, or DMA, is a feature that allows certain hardware subsystems to access main system memory independently of the CPU. This is highly efficient for transferring large blocks of data between input and output devices and memory. Option A is incorrect because DMA offloads work from the CPU, freeing it up for other tasks, but does not inherently speed up the CPU's own access to memory. Option C is incorrect because DMA transfers often bypass the CPU cache, which can sometimes create cache coherence problems that must be managed by the system. Option D is incorrect because DMA is an alternative to purely interrupt-driven input and output. A DMA transfer may end with a single interrupt, but the data transfer itself does not require continuous interrupts. (39) What is 2's complement primarily used for in computer systems? A. General binary encoding, B. Floating point representation, C. Signed integer representation, D. Encryption. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Signed integer representation. Explanation. Option C is correct because 2's complement is the most common method for representing positive and negative integers in computers. It allows arithmetic operations like addition and subtraction to be handled by the same hardware circuitry, regardless of the number's signs. Option A is incorrect because general binary encoding is too broad. 2's complement is a very specific encoding scheme for a particular purpose. Option B is incorrect because floating point numbers are represented using a separate format, typically the ITE 754 standard, which includes a sign, exponent, and significant. Option D is incorrect because encryption is the process of securing data using complex algorithms and is unrelated to how numbers are represented at the hardware level. 40. In what format are machine instructions represented in assembly language? A. Binary. B. Hexadecimal. C. Pseudocode. D. Symbolic. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, D. Symbolic. Explanation: Option D is correct because assembly language provides a symbolic representation of a computer's native machine code. It uses human-readable mnemonics for instructions, such as ADD, MOV, or JMP, making it easier to write than raw binary. Option A is incorrect because binary is the format of machine code itself, which assembly language abstracts. Option B is incorrect because hexadecimal is a compact base 16 notation often used to display binary data, but it is not the format of assembly language itself. Option C is incorrect because pseudocode is a high-level, language-agnostic description of an algorithm's logic, not a programmable language. (41) What is the miss penalty in a memory hierarchy? A. Time to transfer data from cache to the CPU. B. A delay caused by a cache coherence error. C. Time required to fetch data from a lower memory level after a miss. D. The execution time for a high-priority process. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Time required to fetch data from a lower memory level after a miss. Explanation: Option C is correct because the miss penalty is the additional time required to service a memory request when the data is not found in a higher level of the memory hierarchy like the cache. It includes the time to access the lower level, such as main memory, and transfer the data up to the higher level. Option A is incorrect because the time to transfer data from the cache to the CPU is known as the hit time. Option B is incorrect because a delay from a cache coherence error is a specific issue in multiprocessor systems, not the general definition of a miss penalty. Option D is incorrect because the execution time of a process is a high-level performance metric and is unrelated to this specific low-level memory event. 42. What is a NOP instruction in assembly language? A. A negative operating procedure. B. The next operational process. C. A no operation instruction. D. A non-operational program. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. A no operation instruction. Explanation: Option C is correct because NOP, which stands for no operation, is a machine instruction that effectively does nothing at all. It is often used to insert delays into code, align memory, or to create a space for a future instruction. Option A is incorrect because negative operating procedure is a meaningless phrase in this context. Option B is incorrect because next operational process is not a standard term associated with the NOP instruction. Option D is incorrect because NOP is a single instruction, not an entire program. (43) Which input and output scheme involves a device actively notifying the CPU when it needs attention? A. Direct memory access. B. Polling. C. Interrupt-driven input and output. D. Cycle stealing. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer C. Interrupt-driven input and output. Explanation. Option C is correct because in an interrupt-driven input and output scheme, a device sends a hardware signal, known as an interrupt, to the processor when it is ready to transfer data or requires service. This allows the CPU to perform other tasks instead of waiting. Option A is incorrect because direct memory access, or DMA, allows a device to transfer data with memory directly, without needing to notify the CPU for each piece of data. Option B is incorrect because polling is the opposite approach, where the CPU must repeatedly check the status of the device. Option D is incorrect because cycle stealing is a method used by a DMA controller to take control of the memory bus, temporarily preventing the CPU from using it. It is part of DMA, not a notification scheme. 44. Which cache design stores instructions and data in separate caches to improve performance? A. Write-through cache. B. Set associative cache. C. Split cache. D. Fully associative cache. Do you know the answer? Correct answer C. Split cache. Explanation. Option C is correct because a split cache architecture uses two separate caches, one for instructions, the I cache, and one for data, the D cache. This design, also known as a modified Harvard architecture, reduces contention and allows simultaneous access to both instructions and data. Option A is incorrect because a write-through cache is a write policy that dictates how data updates are handled, not the structural organization of the cache. Option B is incorrect because a set associative cache is a mapping strategy that determines where memory blocks can be placed in the cache. Option D is incorrect because a fully associative cache is also a mapping strategy and does not specify whether instructions and data are separated. 45. What term describes distributing data across multiple storage devices so that input and output operations can be performed in parallel to improve performance? A. Multi-threading. B. Prefetching. C. Striping. D. Threading. Do you know the answer? Correct answer C. Striping. Explanation. Option C is correct because striping is a technique of segmenting logically sequential data, such as a file, and distributing those segments across multiple physical storage devices. This allows for parallel access, which can significantly increase data transfer speeds. It is the basis of RAID 0. Option A is incorrect because multi-threading is a method for achieving concurrent execution within a single program. Option B is incorrect because prefetching is the process of loading data into a cache before it is explicitly requested. Option D is incorrect because threading is another term for using threads in a program, synonymous with multi-threading. 46. Which synchronization primitive is used to ensure mutual exclusion, allowing only one thread or processor to access a critical section of code at a time? A. Barrier. B. Lock. C. Semaphore. D. Latch. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer B. Lock. Explanation. Option B is correct because a lock, also known as a mutex for mutual exclusion, is a synchronization mechanism that enforces a limit of one thread at a time in a critical section of code that accesses shared resources. Option A is incorrect because a barrier is a synchronization point where multiple threads must wait until all participating threads have reached it before any can proceed. Option C is incorrect because a semaphore is a more general synchronization tool that can be used to control access to a resource pool of a certain size. A binary semaphore acts like a lock, but counting semaphores can allow more than one user. Option D is incorrect because while a latch can be a type of low-level lock, especially in databases, lock is the more general and fundamental term for ensuring mutual exclusion. 47. Which concept describes a memory system organized into multiple levels, with smaller, faster memories placed closer to the CPU? A. Memory hierarchy. B. RAID. C. LRU cache. D. Cache coherence. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, A. Memory hierarchy. Explanation: option A is correct because a memory hierarchy is a structure that uses multiple levels of memory with different speeds and sizes. The fastest, smallest and most expensive memories, like CPU registers and caches, are placed closest to the CPU, while larger, slower memories are farther away. Option B is incorrect because RAID, or redundant array of independent disks, is a data storage technology that combines multiple disk drives for redundancy or performance. Option C is incorrect because LRU, or least recently used, is a specific replacement policy used within a cache. It is not the term for the overall layered system. Option D is incorrect because cache coherence refers to the protocols that maintain data consistency across multiple caches in a multiprocessor system. 48. What purpose does a hot swapping capability serve in a system? A. Allows processors to communicate directly. B. Enables hardware replacement while the system is running. C. Synchronizes memory data. D. Transfers data without latency. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. Enables hardware replacement while the system is running. Explanation: option B is correct because hot swapping allows for the replacement or addition of system components such as disk drives or power supplies without stopping or shutting down the computer. This is a critical feature for systems that require high availability. Option A is incorrect because direct processor communication is related to the system's interconnect architecture, not hot swapping. Option C is incorrect because synchronizing memory data is handled by cache coherence protocols and other memory system features. Option D is incorrect because transferring data without latency is physically impossible. Hot swapping is about maintaining system uptime, not eliminating latency. 49. Which network performance metric measures the bandwidth of the narrowest part of a network when it is divided into two equal halves? A. Bisection bandwidth. B. Transfer bandwidth. C. Throughput bandwidth. D. Network bandwidth. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, A. Bisection bandwidth. Explanation: option A is correct because bisection bandwidth is a key metric for evaluating a network's topology. It is defined as the bandwidth across the bisection of the network, with the minimum number of crossing links, representing a worst-case communication scenario. Option B is incorrect because transfer bandwidth is not a standard, formal term for this measurement. Option C is incorrect because throughput is the actual measured data rate, which can be limited by many factors, while bandwidth is a theoretical maximum. The term is often redundant. Option D is incorrect because network bandwidth is a general term for the data rate of a link, not a specific metric for analysing the overall structure of a network like bisection bandwidth is. 50. Which hardware mechanism acts as a cache for frequently used virtual to physical address mappings to speed up memory access? A. Error detection code. B. Page mapping. C. Translation. look-aside buffer. D. Address translation. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Translation look-aside buffer. Explanation. Option C is correct because the translation look-aside buffer, or TLB, is a specialized hardware cache used by the memory management unit to store recent address translations. A hit in the TLB avoids a slower lookup in the main memory page table. Option A is incorrect because an error detection code, or EDC, is a method used to check for errors in stored or transmitted data. Option B is incorrect because page mapping is the overall process of translating addresses, for which the TLB is an accelerating component. Option D is incorrect because address translation is the general term for the process of converting a virtual address to a physical one. The TLB is the specific cache that assists in this process. You have reached the end of our first question set. For the free complete exam preparation, visit our website link in the description, where you find thousands more practice questions and comprehensive study guides. Thanks for studying with us today. See you in the next video.